Welcome! In this video we will explore the potential of the new Inim Cloud Fire, through which it is possible to remotely control, manage and monitor automatic fire detection systems made with Previdia series control panels, manufactured by Inim Electronics. Let's see how. Inim Fire Cloud is a service aimed at both installers and maintenance personnel, as well as end users who we identify as the safety managers of the building where the system is installed. Let's start by registering the installer account. You go to www.inimcloud.com, select Register and choose the installer option. Now enter your account details. You fill in the page regarding your personal details, making sure to provide a valid VAT number with an ATECO code compatible with installation or maintenance activity on fire detection and alarm systems. Otherwise, the cloud will not accept the installer registration. You read the privacy policy and accept the conditions. You make sure that the entered data is correct and then confirm it. You will receive an email confirming your registration. At this point, select the confirmation link to complete the registration of your account. Your account is now confirmed, so you can access our cloud page. The cloud will take you to the summary page of active events on the system associated with your account. This page will be blank, as for now there are no systems associated with your account. Proceed with the registration of your first system. It is necessary to access the Settings section of your profile and note down your installer ID code, the unique code that is assigned by the cloud once an installer account has been created, and that you must use every time you want to associate a control panel with your profile. Now, go to the control panel that you want to associate with your profile. In this first example, it is a Previdia compact control panel. Keep in mind that in the case of several control panels connected together in a Hornet Plus network, only one control panel is to be associated with the cloud, which will operate as the cloud gateway for the entire system. You select the programming option. Type in a valid installer code to access this section, then select Configuration. Firstly, you select the icon for the networking parameters. You enter a valid IP address and the parameters that allow your control panel to navigate the internet. You press OK to confirm. You then select the cloud icon, then the parameters button. You select through which channel you want to connect to the cloud. At the moment, it is possible to select only the Ethernet, indicate in which time zone you are installing the control panel, and confirm the setting. You then select the Enroll button. Enter your installer ID that you noted from your cloud profile. Select whether to leave the ownership of the system to the end user, therefore the possibility to remove the control panel from your account, or reserve this possibility for yourself. Therefore, attribute the ownership of the system to the installer. In this case, let's leave the ownership to the user. Then you select Enroll. If all the operations have been carried out correctly, you will receive a message confirming the registration. The icon at the top of your cloud page will indicate that you have registered a new system. You select the New Installations section. Several minutes after the registration of the control panel, the time required by the cloud to acquire the configuration data of the entire system, this section will show the details of the newly associated system. The system will be identified by the name attributed to the cluster via the Previdia Studio configuration software. Using the icon on the right, you can associate the new system to a customer present in your register or create a new customer. You enter the data of a new customer. Your system has now been removed from the list of new installations and is awaiting placement. You select the Customers section, in which you will find the Azul Roma customer. Here there is only one installation identified as Azul Roma, Ospedale Tiburtino. You repeat the procedure and register a new system under your installer account, this time using a Previdia Max control panel. Please keep in mind that Previdia Max series control panels connect to the cloud only through the IFM LAN module. Therefore, using the Previdia Studio configuration software, configure the networking parameters of the IFM LAN module in such a way that it is possible to navigate the Internet. You select the Programming option. Type in a valid installer code to access the Programming section, then select the Network section. Remember that the networking parameters shown on this page are those related to the Ethernet connection of the main FPM CPU unit, therefore are not those used for the connection to the cloud, which is achieved through the Ethernet port of the IFM LAN module. Enable the check mark of the Connection to Cloud. Select Register. Enter your installer ID that you noted from your cloud profile. In this second example, let's choose to attribute system ownership to the installer by enabling the checkmark of Ownership option. Select Register. If all the operations have been carried out correctly, you will receive a message confirming the registration. The icon at the top of your cloud page will indicate that you have registered a new system. You select the New Installation section. Several minutes after registering the control panel, the time required by the cloud to acquire the configuration of the entire system, this section will show the details of the newly associated system. By means of the icon on the right, you associate this new system with the same customer shown in the previous example. You access the Customers section, where you will find the Azul Roma customer with, at this point, two systems. Azul Roma Ospedale Tiburtino, as shown in the first example, and Azul Roma Ospedale Parioli, as shown in the second example. Let's add a new customer to better proceed with exploration of your installer account. You now have two customers in your register. Now let's go to the summary screen of your account. On this screen, you find a summary of all the events active in the various systems associated with your installer account. The example shows 2 active alarms, 2 failures, and 2 bypasses. By selecting a category button, you will be able to focus solely on one type of event by hiding the events of a different type. By clicking again on the category button, you return to the visualization of all the categories of events. By means of the customer selector, you can focus your attention on the systems of a specific customer and show only the event active on the systems associated with the selected customer. By means of the system selector, you can focus your attention on a specific system from those associated with the selected customer. In this case, we are showing the events active on the Ospedali Parioli system of the ASL Roma customer. In the moment you select a specific system, the section on the left will show a new selection, System Management. Selecting the System Management option will access a section in which it is possible to control and interact with the various elements of the selected system. On the first summary screen, buttons are available that allow you to perform basic functions such as reset, silence, and reactivation of alarm signaling devices. Remember that all remote operations on the system that you will see in our example can be disabled when configuring the system via the Previdia Studio software. The business cards on this page show us that the selected system comprises 2 control panels connected together in Hornet Plus network. The name attributed to each control panel is indicated, in our example, Cardiology and Vascular Surgery. The model and version of each control panel is also indicated. The Hornet Plus network icon indicates that the communication on the control panel network is working properly. Let's select the Cardiology control panel. Once a specific control panel has been selected, in our example, the Cardiology department, all the elements of the selected control panel will appear under the Plant Management section. The first option is the Zones section. This section shows the list of zones configured in the Cardiology department. The 4 columns on the right show whether an alarm or fault condition is active on the zone. If the zone has been put out of service, or if the test mode is active. Using the selector under the column identified by the X icon, it is possible to put the zone out of service. The out of service status can be set until the next action or for a limited period. In our example, we will put the zone out of service for only 3 minutes, at the end of which the zone will automatically return to operating mode. Using the selector under the test column, it is possible to activate or deactivate the test mode on each of the zones. Operating on the symbol on the left, it is possible to expand the zone by visualizing the various devices allocated to the selected zone. For each of the devices allocated to the zone are shown in the 4 columns on the right any alarm, fault, out of service or active output conditions. Using the selector under the column identified by the X icon, it is possible to put out any specific point, be it a detector, button, sounder, or any other. The icon on the left takes you to the management page of a specific point. The management page shows the graph that indicates in real time value read by the selected detector. Any alarm, fault, or other condition is highlighted in the section on the left, and it is possible to manually activate the output, localization LED, put the device or the entire zone the device belongs to out of service. Now let's close the management page and return to the zones list. Let's select the Loop section. In this section, it is possible to access the management pages of the various devices, grouped in accordance with the loops they are installed on. Selecting the Groups section will display all the groups of outputs configured in the system. The columns on the right show, for each group, if its status is active, which means the outputs associated with it are active, and if the group is operational or out of service. Using the 2 selectors under the last 2 columns, it is possible to put the group of outputs out of service or activate the group manually. In the Communicator section, it is possible to view the status of the remote communicator, stop any communications in progress, and disable alarm, fault, or generic calls. Remember that the status of the communicator summarizes all the remote communication channels configured in the system, the outputs that activate external communicators, and the telephone communication channel GSM, TCP, IP, etc. In the extinction section, it is possible to manage any extinction channels configured in the system. Each channel can be placed in manual mode only, automatic mode only, or out of service mode. Finally, in the timer section shows the control panel timers and their status. Using the two selectors on the right, it is possible to put each of them out of service or activate them manually. Now, let's explore the events log section. As can be seen from the section on the left, the events log is common to the entire system and is not dedicated to a single control panel. So our example shows the Parioli Hospital events log. Each record saved in the events log shows a specific event that occurred on the system. It is immediately obvious that for some events there are icons under the 3 columns on the right. The events marked by the small square in the last column on the right are part of the system register, which means they are events of such importance or severity that they need to be justified by a manager. The management of a system register is required by current legislation, which states that all events regarding alarm, fault, bypass, ordinary and extraordinary maintenance, etc., must be recorded and commented on in the system register. The Inim Electronics Cloud Fire manages this register automatically, providing, as we will see shortly, the possibility for the system manager and installer to comment, justify, and file under their own responsibility every event worthy of note. By selecting the icon below the Notes column, it is possible to add a comment for any event that is included in the system register. The author of the comment is logged by means of the credentials used for access to the cloud. The author of the comment has the right to affix their signature to each event in the system register. Once signed, the event will be considered closed and archived. The 2 icons on the right indicate that this specific event has been commented and signed. It is possible at a later time through the same or another account to add further notes and possibly return the event to the non-closed status. By selecting more events from the system log events and selecting the Note icon, it is possible to add the same note and signature to multiple events simultaneously. It is also possible to select all the elements of the system register within a certain period and apply the same note and signature to all of them. By means of the Add icon, it is possible to manually enter a record in the system register. The types of records that can be entered are Training, to record staff training events. Non-conformity, to add a fault signal that is not automatically detected by the system. For example, the plastic of a damaged button, etc. Evacuation exercise, to record performed fire drills. Maintenance, to record performed system maintenance. Custom, categories not included in those previously mentioned. Using the Events Log icon, it is possible to isolate only the events that are part of the system register. We can also identify the elements of the system register during a specific period. The portion of the system register registered can be downloaded in CSV or PDF format. The format that is returned from the cloud is already ready to be stamped, signed, and archived in a binder, if you want to keep a paper-based copy of the register available. By means of the icons on the left, it is possible to filter events relative to alarm, fault, test, elements forming part of the system register that are not yet closed. Note that each element displayed in the events log or in the summary page of the active events shows a link through which it is possible to jump on the management page of the device or zone that generated the event. Now, let's explore the feedback lists section. In this section, the installer or maintenance technician, once the operations of testing, control or maintenance have been carried out on the system, can file the various documents such as checklists, delivery reports, or whatever else as required by current legislation. Let's look at this in detail. Let's imagine in our example that the maintenance technician has just finished a periodic test session. As required by the law, this professional is obliged to issue a signed document to the person in charge of the system, specifying exactly what has been tested. The cloud provides a series of basic documents or templates from which to start. The professional can draw on these documents or use their own. In our example, we will use the checklist format for periodic testing included in the appendix of the UNI 11224 standard and made available on the Inim Cloudfire Cloud. You select the Download Template icon. You select from the list of documents available for UNI 11224 Periodic Control. The cloud will provide a document in Microsoft Word format that the maintenance technician can fill out. Once completed, this document can be saved temporarily on your PC. In our example, we will save it on the desktop. Once the document has been completed, we can store it on the cloud. You select the Upload option. You select the file that has just been completed. You add a comment indicating that this document refers to maintenance performed in September 2019. You select the day or days in which the maintenance was performed. You save the document on the cloud. The insertion of this document will be automatically recorded also in the system register. The document is now included in the checklists of this system. It can be downloaded and consulted at any time, also by the account of the system manager, a user type account as will be seen later. Let's download the checklist and get the document completed by the maintenance technician, along with a second document. The second document will contain the registrations of the devices actually tested during the interval indicated by the maintenance technician. Taken from the event log, this set of documents will allow verification of the work carried out by the maintenance technician on behalf of the contractor, customer, and at the same time will allow the maintenance technician to provide evidence of the work carried out. Now let's look at the Calendar section. In this section, which is common to all systems, the professional can plan work schedules together with their customers. By selecting a date on the calendar, it is possible to schedule work at an installation by entering the necessary details, selecting the system in question, and eventually asking the cloud to send a reminder via email. Now let's go to the Notifications section. In this section, you can enter the list of addresses where you want to receive emails in the case of different categories of events. The cloud will automatically send emails to the addresses indicated, with all the details of the individual event included in the respective text body. At the top right of the icons, which are always visible, are shown respectively the number of alarms not yet closed present in the system registers of the various systems, the number of faults not yet closed present in the system's registers of the various systems, the number of events other than alarms and faults that have not yet been closed present in the system registers of the various systems, notifications from the cloud that have not yet been read, scheduled work plans that are coming close to the date, new systems associated with your account and not yet associated with any customer. Finally, we return to the customer section. By selecting a customer, the cloud will show, in the form of business cards, all the systems associated with the selected customer. On each business card you will find the system details, the possibility of geolocating the system, the number of events in each category not yet closed in the system register. By means of the check mark indicated here, it is possible to allow or not user accounts, which we will see shortly, to associate the system with your account. Here are indicated any users already associated with the system. This icon indicates who the system ownership has been attributed to, as can be seen in the two examples. There is a system where the ownership, and therefore the function of supervisor, is attributed to the installer account, and another where the ownership has been attributed to the user. In the first case, we can remove all the users associated with the system, and then eventually proceed with disconnecting the system from the cloud. Remember that by disconnecting a system from the cloud, all the records associated with it will be lost. If the supervisor function is assigned to the installer, it will still be possible to transfer it to one of the associated users by selecting the Transfer Control icon. If instead the supervisor function is assigned to the user, you can remove the system from your account, but it will remain connected to the cloud and will be available for a new enroll operation under a new installer account. Now let's go to a second example, where we will show how to operate in the case of a user type profile. Let's start by registering our user account. Go to www.inimcloud.com, select the Register option. This time, select the Private option. You enter our account details. You fill in the page relating to your personal details. Read the privacy policy and accept the conditions. Check that the entered details are correct and confirm them. You will receive an email confirming your registration. Select the confirmation link to complete registration of your account. Your account is now confirmed, and you can access our cloud page. Since there are no systems associated with your account, the cloud shows us directly the temporary code to be used for enrolling the system. Let's see how to operate it. First, take note of the temporary code provided by the cloud. Now let's move forward to the control panel you want to associate with your profile. In this first example, it is a Previdia Compact control panel. The control panel you intend to operate on must be one on which an enroll to cloud operation has already been performed by an installer profile. It will therefore be a control panel that is already connected to the cloud. Before proceeding, It is necessary to enter a code with credentials valid for the Advanced User level. Providia control panels have the Advanced User Type code 00002 enabled at factory. Once the code has been entered, select the System Status button. The Cloud button will be shown. You select it. Then you select the Enroll button. At this point, enter the temporary code that was provided by the cloud. Then select Enroll. You will get the registration confirmation message from the control panel. Now let's go back to the PC, where you will note that the temporary code has been replaced by a confirmation message. Select your home page, where you will find the summary page of the active events on the systems associated with the user account. This is identical to the one already seen for the installer account. We will continue with a second example, where you will see how to enroll a Providia Max control panel on the user account. Select the icon of our user profile. Enter details of our account. All the systems associated with the account will be shown. In our example, we will find only the ASL Roma Ospedale Tiburtino system that has just been enrolled. Select the Add New System icon. The cloud will show us a new temporary code for the enrollment of a new system. Note down the code and go to the Providia Max control panel. Also in this case, it will be necessary first to enter a code with credentials valid for Advanced User level. Once the code has been entered, select the System Status button and then the Cloud button. Now select the Associate User button. Enter the temporary code that you previously noted down and confirm using the Send button. The control panel will show a message confirming the registration. Go back to your PC, and in the Home section, you will find the summary of the conditions active on all the systems associated with our account. It is possible to select a single system and visualize the active events on it, temporarily hiding all the others. Once a specific system has been selected, the System Management option will be shown in the section on the left, as previously seen in the case of an installer account. The System Management section is identical to that described in the installer account section, with the sole exception that visualization of the loop is not present, as it is too technical for a user profile. The Events Log section is also identical to that shown in the installer section. This allows the two figures, the maintenance technician or installer and the system manager, to fill in the parts of the system register of their competence. In the Checklists section, the user has the possibility to download all the system checklists, but not to archive documents, a function reserved for the maintenance professional. As seen for the installer section, the user can also enter a list of email addresses for receiving communications for each category of events. We thank you for having followed us in this video, and we remind you that the Inim Cloudfire is a free service made available by Inim Electronics, where each installer account has a space of 512 megabytes. The Cloudfire is based on an IT infrastructure composed of multiple servers in the network with unlimited resources at CPU, storage and band level in upload and download, with a Tier 3.5 certified security level. The control panel connection cloud occurs via encrypted proprietary protocol thanks to the most modern cryptographic algorithms. The web and app connection Cloud is protected by the HTTPS protocol, also used in the home banking area. The cloud is protected by an Inim protector system that can detect and protect itself against abnormal and cyber attack behavior. With Inim FireCloud, protection becomes total.